Riding on a dino with the black max. Just another black man trying to stay about the cash. Hey, Lena Waithe, welcome to the Kenny Burns Show.
What up?
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How's the service? Am I Teddy Riley or are we good?
Oh, you good.
Perfect.
You're all good. What's that painting behind you, though? That thing is mean.
You know what it is? It's a kahinde, but it's not a kahinde. I don't get that kind of money. This is a beach towel, actually.
And you framed it.
That I framed. Because that's what we as Black people do.
We creative than a mother sucker.
You know, it's like it's a stunt before I could actually really stunt.
I just want people out there to know today I was inspired when I woke up. And, you know, Lena, your offering has been amazing. I'm giving you your flowers all show long, by the way. But I was inspired to write you a poem. And I wrote the poem. Ladies and gentlemen, I hit her because I'm not a writer. So I hit her. I was like, yo, Lena, I wrote you a poem. And she hit me back and said, "Deaf poetry, Jay."
I said, come on, deaf poetry, let's get it going.
I love it. But I wanna read that for the people that don't follow me and follow you, because I was really inspired. I promise you, like, you have lit a fire under my creative, as many of us have been by your contribution. But I wrote, I'm gonna give you a little cheers because I love you in real life.
I love you in real life too.
And you say Shy City. I had to start it with that because we all know what she represents. But I said, hailing from the go, where the lions and tigers want more, scratching and clawing in tears, makes kings out of queens with no fear. A rebel with the cause, amplifying their voices. A phoenix rose from the ashes because of her choices. And I want to cheers to you, my love. Cheers. Yes. Yes. Cheers, love. Mwah. Mwah. But you inspire me. How you doing? Everything good? Family good? You're healthy? You're corona free?
Thank God. Still corona free. Trying to get police. It's a lot going on. You know, it's interesting because you're the first person I've actually sat and talked to. A lot of people have hit us, like, you know, the CNNs and places like that, wanted me to just come and join the conversation. And I think I'm just a believer. I think for a few days, and I think I can say this, and I'm gonna speak a bunch of truth. So, like, let the motherfuckers
come on.
One, when you are a Black person of note, that is noted and it is understood. But we also, I think, if I can't speak for some of us, we also want space and time to digest and to process what's going on. I think that, come on now, that have answers and that we become, you know, like you pour water into us, we become politician chia pets or something. Like, nah, we are like just like everyone else, and we are also digesting and trying to figure out what we're feeling, and also get it too, because I'm a person who, just because I am a person that lives at the intersection of Blackness and queerness, and also womanness. And so I think there's this desire and this need to be like, okay, because you are really othered, come and talk to us about, you know, what you're feeling and what you're thinking and what the answers are. The truth is like, I don't have those answers all the time. And I don't want to speak unless I can improve upon the silence. And so what I wanted to do was sit in my bag and kind of figure out, how can I help? Because I'm doing what everybody else is doing. I'm like, do I post a Black square? Oh shit, I don't post a Black square. Okay, don't. Because also too, what people don't realize is that all these activists sort of like, also there's also a thing called a celebrity activist. There's celebrity activists. Like, like there's certain like activists that we know who they are, and some of them have got a bad rap. Some of them, a lot of them ain't really cool with each other. So it's like, right. You do post one activist, oh wait, don't post that person, they not cool, or they got a controversy. So you like, what about what you're supposed to do? And so what I did was I did the vetting of some organizations, so that way I knew where to donate. But then I was just in my bag like, but here's the real tea. Like, what about, it feels better for me to actually look a person in the eye and say, here's something to help you. And I was specific about my calling, which was, I really want to help these Black protesters, because also you don't want to get into the habit of, okay, oh, everybody should be out in the streets.
Right.
It may not be everybody's ministry.
That's right.
You may not be a person that like can like get like be out there in the street, because also my thing is I love the rallies and a lot of them are very peaceful. Also, I don't want to be in a group of people where I don't know why everybody out there.
That's right.
If you go to a rally and ask 5 people why you here, you may get 5 different answers. So I want to make sure I'm just aware of who I'm walking with and what
I love that.
walking. You know what I'm saying?
No, I love that.
Let's keep it all the way a buck. It's like we also have been in a pandemic. People have been inside. So it's like, are you outside marching for the equality and freedom of Black people? Or are you like, look, I'm looking for a reason to get out the house? I don't know. And I'm not saying that's what everybody's doing. But at the end of the day, I'm always about how can we be solution oriented? Like, what can we do? And I was just like, and I was very specific. I was like, I want to help because these Black protesters who are out there every day on the lines, just because they magic don't mean they don't got bills.
That's right.
These people out there, they're out there making themselves known, being a presence, applying the pressure. And I feel like the least we can do is do this thing that I started with Hillman Helps, which is we put money in the pockets of Black protesters. Now, here's the deal. It is not tax deductible, you know, so that's, let me keep it all the way a buck. So right. I was okay, I'm gonna take $25K out of my account. I told my business manager, I was like, I don't care if it's an tax deductible. People burn money all the time. Why not throw your money into the fire that is the revolution that's happening right now?
Come on.
Get it back. And
Come
then,
on.
because that day, I get a check in the mail. We get these things called royalties. The TV. You put a TV show in there, you get this little green check. I get a check in the mail for $20K for Boomerang for season 2.
Wow.
Because I gotta get a check to my business manager. I don't get real talk to y'all. And my business manager goes, "Oh, great. You donate $25K." He does business manager. He's like, "Fantastic. We get to replenish that, 20 grand." And I said, "No, motherfucker. In addition to, now we got $45K to get." So, and this morning, because there's so many people that are in need, if anybody want to go to my page, you can go through the comments, see people talking about what they need. And also, too, I want to be very clear. No one is being like on some like fuck shit. Nobody's asking for something they don't need. People are being very specific. People are like, I need $248 to pay my student loan on back pay, or right. I need this and that. And also, too, like, I live in LA, like some people live in New York where rent is fucking ridiculous. A lot of people who hit me and say, yo, can you put something on for my rent? It's $800. I'm like, $800? Boom, got it. Like, because people don't realize, I know out here in LA, shit, you paying $3,000 for like a studio. If you went to your rent, you can be somewhere nice for, $800. So it's like, you can, for what somebody would spend on a fancy dinner, you can get somebody peace of mind for a month.
Yeah.
They can pay their rent. And it's been very humbling. It's been very invigorating. It's been very inspiring. When we started this, because we didn't know what people were going to say, what they were going to do. These folks in there are talking to us, and we're getting to know people. We're obviously, as we're helping folks out. And also, we went over, we're at like 52K, so I committed another 10 grand to make sure we could pay people. And we are working with Venmo.
Thank you.
We working with Venmo, we're working with Cash App, and they are a little overwhelmed because and they're under, it's Hillman Grad Productions, Cash App, Hillman Grad Productions, Venmo, and people are saying, how can we donate this and that? Because there were so many transactions yesterday, the accounts kind of got frozen up. So we are asking people if they can, because people say, how can we give you money to give to people? All you got to do is go through our comments, and it's almost like a town hall. It's like you going through and you getting to know people, because people are being very vulnerable. They're being very transparent. They're talking about medical bills. They're talking about, and a lot of people, one person was just like, yo, I'm hurting, but Lena, if you can just give me gas to get from here to here to go to another rally. And we was like, absolutely, Hillman Grad helps. Hillman, we got you. Boom. And so it's these people, I'm telling you, I'm not just saying it. You can go see for your motherfucking self. These people are salt of the earth. They out here doing God's work. They out here fighting for our right to be Black and alive. And for a lot of white people hit me up, I'm so happy now I finally got somewhere to tell them. Go to my comments. Fine. And here's the deal. You ain't got to pay somebody's rent. People ask for very different, the amounts it varies. If you can go to, don't just cash out and say, hey, how you doing? Where you from? Okay, cool. You may find you got something in common with a person that you talking to, that you just help, with their gas bill, with their lights, with their rent, with their student loan, with their car note. It's like, this is what we've been about. the Black community, it's like, to me, I like to see Black people, like people of color helping others, but also you want to be an ally, like, come on, like help these people who have bills. Just because also we see the pictures, don't repost a picture of a protester, put money in that protester's pocket. And I
Yes.
think at the end of the day, we need them to have peace of mind. We need them to not be worried about whether or not they're going to get evicted. We need them to not worry about while they on their way to a rally where they run out of gas. We need to not worry about where their next meal is coming from. And the truth is like, I am going to put a call out. Here's the deal. I'm not I don't want to call more people out or whatever about, that's not my ministry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I stepped in there with bullshit.
Do it.
Because I don't believe in asking for what's offered.
Yeah.
I haven't asked nobody. It's like when people hit me and say, hey, I want to help. Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Go to the comments. And I think to me, that's almost even better than like you giving me, like, look, whatever. People want to give me the money. We going to basically just like take it and like distribute it. But it's almost going up to a person, shaking their hand and saying, how can I help you? What do you need? And I think that if we get anything out of this pandemic and out of this new revolution is that, you know, the thing about it is this country was never really built for us to feel free. This land is kind of stolen, and we built it. Our ancestors built the fucking country, and now we are somebody's ancestors right now. So we don't have to, where did you stand in time of turmoil?
Yeah.
Because about the Montgomery bus boycott, like it scares me today to think about what will happen if we say, okay, so we all got to be fall in line and all do the same thing, because I realize the greatest weapon we have against oppression is unity. Right. And because such a lack of unity, I think that's why it's a part of the reason why these motherfuckers be trying to oppress us, because we got to talk to each other. We got to come together. And I think,
and you know what too, Lena? And that's a very important point. And I want to say this because, you know, we have a lot of people out here, you know, that aren't about that life.
Yeah.
But we can do something by donating. We have way more resources, way more power than we've ever had in the history. I mean, our grandparents literally didn't take the bus for 18 months, almost 2 years, used the person in the neighborhood that had the car to, you know, drive people. If people were walking 10 miles to work, like we don't know sacrifice like our people, but we have more access and we have more power because of our social platforms, and the ones that are making money are actually donating and raising funds on behalf of those doing the work. And I also, you know, I want to take you on a trip. I want to get back to this. I have a whole thing, and after the Queen and Slim thing, I want to get, because that was very appropriate, especially today. But I want to take people who don't know Lena Waithe on a trip. You're from the South Side of Chicago. I call you the leader of the 80s babies, and the way you just professed your love for your people and how you raising this money with the Hillman Grad family thing, you sure are leading by example. But hailing from the South Side of Chicago, Lena, in the 80s, when the vice lords and the GDs was everywhere and there was a whole lot of things going on, much like myself, you grew up single parent home, your grandmother, your aunts, things of that nature. Well, how was that? What was that like?
You know, for me, it was like this utopia. You know, I because I was raised, I lived in a, you know, it's like I was in a Black neighborhood, and I say that with pride. I think when you say, "Oh, I came from a Black neighborhood," I think, or maybe people have this idea of what that means about what. But the truth is, I grew up in the same house that my mother grew up in.
Wow.
And so, and I grew up, and so the children I played with were the children of the kids that she. So I had sort of that old school like upbringing where, yes, I lived in my grandmother's house and with my mom and my sister, and my aunt lived up the block, and my next door neighbor had, you know, she was an older Black woman who had been friends with my grandmother forever, come over every night and watch TV, and that's really where my love for television began. I would watch whatever they would watch. I'm sitting there watching Murder, She Wrote, All in the Family, Good Times. Like, she had the control over the remote, so I got to be raised old school and really studied it. But then also too, we'd watch stuff of the day, whether it be Cosby Show, A Different World, that obviously had a huge impact on me, and things like I was, and also too, it was a situation where it's like people's lawns were meticulous. Like if I did something wrong, the neighbor would tell my grandmother. So I have, and that's why I have such like a bit of an old soul, because I was raised in a very old school kind of way where it was the village. The village really helped raise me. We all took care of each other, and also my grandmother was a big part of integrated, which so therefore there was a lot of history. Literally burned across on the lawn of the house across the street from where I grew up.
Wow.
So we're not too far removed from the quote unquote history, because that's what our history really is, our present. It just looks a little cuter.
Yeah, and you were 7 years old when you realized that you were going to be a writer. I heard.
Yeah, it was like, you know how teachers ask kids in the class like what you want to be. So everybody's like, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a lawyer, and I said, because my favorite show at the time, I said I want to write on a different world. So like, and then cut two, as we got to speak the music to existence. Like 20s, Susan Fels Hill, who everybody should know. If you don't know her, please research her. She was the showrunner and when she was in her 20s.
Wow.
Running the world. And so now she's come and is the showrunner of 20s, and it came full circle, because I'm a believer in like honoring those that have done the work and whose shoulders we stand on. And I definitely stand on the shoulders. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. But for me, I like to step down from those shoulders and stand next to those giants and really take notes and learn from them as much as I can. And so that's
why you're the leader of the 80s babies. High school, you graduate high school. You graduated from high school, went to the Columbia College, Chicago, right?
Yep.
And that's where you studied television?
Yeah, I studied writing and producing in television. I always joke and say I'm one of the few of my friends that actually uses their degree. And they're like, because the truth is, most people, it's like you ask a black person, like, what you trying to go do? Communications.
Management.
Business management. Folks, it's like, you just know. And I think also being part of 80s babies, we definitely had that pressure on us to like get a college degree. Like degree was in. It was just like, just graduate college, motherfucker. Just like go to college, make us proud. And I think I really have always been very specific, and I just was like, well, I want to write for television. And I realized, I was like, I got a college in my own backyard. Everybody else, who I went to school with was trying to leave Chicago.
Right.
I wasn't ready to leave Chicago, because I have a connection to my city. And Chicago is a very specific place, and
yes,
I don't go anywhere else. But my professors at Columbia were like, we think you got some talent. Take your ass to LA, and you'll be fine. And I did. I came out to LA a little reluctantly. But they were like, you're gonna hit a ceiling if you stay here. So and I mean, they would say that to me. They were like, get the fuck, go somewhere, and then come back.
Well, sometimes you have to leave. Sometimes you have to leave everything to get where you're going. And you were working at Blockbuster.
Yes.
I want to say something about Blockbuster, and this is a testament to sometimes people have these creative ideas and passions and dreams and don't get close to what's immediate. Like they think they have to leave immediately. No, you worked at Blockbuster because that's what films were. You transferred your job at Blockbuster, moved to LA.
You done your research. Yes.
But before you even got the assistant job on Girlfriends, you was like at Blockbuster
in LA. I was like, I'm going to transfer this job. I was like, and I was a whole situation, because I was like showing up late a little bit, and I was like renting movies and like bullshit. And so my boss was like, I'm going to put this on your thing. And I was like, don't do that, because I got to transfer this job. I got to go to LA. It's something like, what am I, the television version of the 5 Heartbeats? I was like, I got to go to LA. I got to make it. I got to do it. And he was like, all right. It was the whole thing. I mean, it's literally a scene. If somebody makes that movie, like me at Blockbuster.
Right.
I used to work at the movie theater. I was a ticket taker, because I used to work at Best Buy in the media section. I would help you with your CDs and shit. I would wake up at 4 in the morning, go up there and set up the CDs before every Monday night, because Tuesday was New Music Day. It was the whole thing. I was trying to be close to it. And I think that's what I always tell people. It's like, your fucking purpose.
Come on.
God,
come on.
Question, do you want to listen? And do you want to do what you got to do to get to? Because you're not to follow the purpose. Because living in your purpose is very difficult. You lose friends. You have to make sacrifices. Your family be judging you. People don't believe you. And so it's easier to quiet God's voice when he's telling you this is what you're supposed to do.
Listen.
Don't like the purpose that they've been assigned, and they're like, but I want to do this.
Yeah, listen, Lena, you're not only
veterinarian, and so now we miss out on a brilliant veterinarian because you want to spend your life trying to be a movie star.
Yeah, and I feel like, as an entrepreneur, and to all entrepreneurs listening to this conversation, you have to go when it's time to go. And if you didn't go to LA at that time and transferring your job, like the girlfriends things wouldn't have happened. You were a part of a cult classic. Like, Girlfriends was like a thing, and you were right there learning, plotting, and planning.
And I want to make it clear how I got the Girlfriends gig.
Come on.
It's always like a Diddy story. I was interning. I was at a literary agency that specifically, that's always be very specific. I went to go intern at this literary agency because they only represented television writers. And so I was like, I'm going to go intern there because maybe if I work hard enough and they like me, they might get me a job working for one of their clients. So I went in there and I was the most internist motherfucker in the world. I was just like up in there getting lunches, answering calls, or everything I could do. And they liked me. They start to like me. And so, because I was initially working there 3 days a week, and then they were like, okay, well, can you come 5 days a week? And they were like, and we'll just like pay for your lunch. I was like, cool. But the thing about it was my schedule, because at night I worked a night shift. I used to transcribe. I was a logger. I would transcribe tapes for the Real World Australia.
Wow.
Money, like you would like get the tapes to transcribe everything that happens, send that to the editor so they can cut the episodes. So I told that, but those hours were from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. deep in the valley. So
wow.
The internship was in Beverly Hills. If anybody knows LA, that's an hour drive. Like go. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, and then don't let traffic be all the way fucked up.
Of course, because my hours, my internship were from 9 a.m. to 5. So I would go work at 9 a.m. to 5 and then drive the hour to the valley and work from 6 to 3 and get them all over again. And so when I was working 3 days a week, it was cool because like, okay, great, I have a couple of days to catch up on sleep. But when they asked me to do 5 days a week, I said, yep. Because I was like, I gotta just say yeah and just eat it and try to see what can happen. So I was just like, so I would literally work from 9 to 5 as an intern, and then drive to the valley and work from 6 till 3, and then like go home and get up and do the same thing again the next day.
That's great.
But I just took it off. I was like, hopefully this will pay off. It'll turn into a job. And sure enough, one of their clients, who happened to be a writing team, Mark Brown and Dee LeDuc, who were show running the show for Mara at the time, they needed a new assistant. And so they said, hey, who y'all got over there? Like, we got this girl, named Lena. And I was like, cool. I went over there. Nobody knew that show better than me. I knew it inside out. I went and interviewed, got the gig, and that's what, like, when y'all, if anybody here has seen 20s, me walking onto that lot was like, that was me, like the world is mine, I'm the world, what could I want? And I'm an assistant. I'm like, I'm like, I did it. But I literally, because I didn't have the luxury of going to an HBCU, it's okay. But my working at Girlfriend, by the way, right next door was the game. So I'm like, Ross, Tia Mari, Wendy Raquel, Pooh Chal, Mara Brock-Akil is walking around looking like the African Black goddess that she is, and her Gemini self, she's killing the game. And I'm just like plotted right there in the middle. And that group of people, like, I still know, like Kenya Barris was writing at the time when I was all the time. Prentice Penny, who was a lower level writer on Girlfriends, then went on to become a showrunner for Insecure. Wow. Karen, who was on Girlfriends, then went on to run Mixed-ish. Like, the truth is like, and obviously Tracy and I become friends and we stay connected. Mark Brown, who was my boss then, I'm going to have dinner, at his house this weekend. What people don't realize is, like, when you, especially in this business, when you land, the people you see are going to be the motherfuckers that's going to be there the whole time. So it really is. This house of cards. Make just know who your friends are. Know who ain't shit. Don't be mean to nobody, because you never know who's gonna blow up.
You never know.
It's like, imagine, like, it's like, and mind you, I have those people, because I was an intern, I was an assistant, I was a PA for years. I was a PA on Ava DuVernay's first feature. You know what I'm saying? So I know the game. It's like, I may be 36, but I feel like the OG because I've been around. And there have been people that would like play me to the side or whatever, and then cut to fast forward, Emmy, cover a Vanity Fair, Spielberg movie. Folks like, oh, you're amazing.
Yeah.
I think my advice to people, and it may sound crazy, it's like, rather than being like, man, fuck you, you weren't checking for me then, my response is, thank you so much. I really appreciate that love. It means a lot. Let's connect whenever we can. Because at the end of the day, it's like, let the motherfuckers hate on you and be whack. You don't return that energy because, you know, you just never know. I'm always trying to send out positive energy. That's what I always say. The key to being successful is sometimes being nice to those who are not nice to you.
Give her a round of applause in the comments. Lena, listen, I want to say this, and I say this to my mentees all the time, and all the creatives on this should really own this, and you sound like you define it. You know, you have to enjoy the journey. You know, when you had the opportunity to intern, you know, 5 days instead of 2 or 3, whatever you were doing, you didn't hesitate because you knew that would put you in another, you know what I'm saying? That would add to the trajectory and make it even faster and quicker. So I just stress to creatives, you have to enjoy the journey because the journey is tied to your ultimate dream. You can't possibly be prepared to accept and appreciate that dream properly if you don't appreciate how you got there. But I want to say this. Shit black girls say, listen to me.
That's where it all started.
No, listen to me. This is where it started. This is when I started to peel back layers and see who was behind what. Because, you know, when you're dealing in business, you're always looking at the people in the front. You're always identifying the people in the front and giving them all the credit when there are writers like yourself that are behind the scenes making it go. But that shit was hilarious.
And it's like, and the thing about it is you never know. It was really just an idea. You know, I had recently met Billy at like a brunch, and I was like, he obviously was a comic. It was funny, and he was willing to kind of get silly and rock with me because I was just like, I need to do this. I was like, this is like and then it became this crazy trend. You know how that goes. The internet like kind of like beats a thing to death, but it really kind of like catapulted me into a space, and people were like, oh, this is funny. I think I remember like Chris Rock reaching out. I was like, oh, that was funny. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, what? So
Chris Rock.
Yeah, I was like, shit, this icon thinks I'm funny, what? So, and I think it just, and what it said to me was, again, it ties back into community. It was like, I don't need like nobody's approval, you know? And for a long time, it's like, I really thought I did. I thought I needed like people to like co-sign and this and that. And it was like, no, sometimes you got to co-sign yourself. But what I mean by that, because I am a big believer in not just picking up a camera and going or just doing this thing, it's like, nah, it's like, I believe that you have to be really great at whatever it is you're doing, because it's like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, just pick up a camera and go shoot some stuff. It's like I always say this, equipment does not a director make. Vision does. You have to have vision. You have to have drive. You have to have an aesthetic. You have to have a real work ethic. And a lot of people, they want that quick, oh, I'm on. And it's like, what? Because the thing I was going to say to you about the journey is like, there is no such thing as making it. There is no such thing as it don't exist, because the truth is that's why you see some of these famous people wind up, you know, gone in a hotel room in a bathtub by themselves, and that's real shit because they've experienced making it. That's what making it looks like if you put all your pressure on making it. Because at the end of the day, it's like people may look at me and say, "Oh, you made it." It's like making it ain't make me feel good when I was like going through a divorce. Making it ain't make me feel good when I was like dealing with shit on my set. It's like that don't mean nothing. It's like I'm a person like everybody else trying to figure this shit out. It's like and that make me who the fuck I'm like, oh shit. What?
But that's it though, Lena. People don't realize it ain't the money. The money can't success, and money only brings fucking issues, and you have to be prepared for those issues. That means being whole and one with yourself before you get there. You can then, because I think people really think I gotta get money. Money. But even like from shit black girls say, right? You went from shit black girls say to, you know what I'm saying, dear white people. And for me, that's when your voice, you know what I'm saying? It was like the unapologetic, you know, unapologetically black. It was, this is what we really want to say. You're gonna take it, you're gonna eat it, and you're gonna laugh at yourself.
Yeah. And I cannot say a thing about dear white people. It's like sometimes know when to be in the backseat. Know when to be in the backseat. Because like I took my shit and I was like, Justin Simeon, you're fucking dope. And he's having my friend. We were in a writers group together. And I was like, yo, nigga, you talented. And I said to him, and I remember we kept bumping into each other. We were working on the same line at one point. He was working in publicity at Paramount, and I was a writer's assistant on The Game, which was on the Paramount lot. So we would have lunch together every day. And we would always just like, like, what you working on, what you doing? And I said to him, because Dear White People used to be called 2%, which means like this fictitious white school only Black people only made up 2% of the population. So we good? You frozen? Somebody calling you? Somebody probably calling you right now.
Yo, you there?
I'm here. Are you good with somebody calling you? Or y'all can see me or you can't see him? I'm here. Can you see me? Hold on. You frozen,
Hold on.
but I can see myself.
There you I can
there
see
you go.
I can see you now.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. A little frozen. Okay, you back. Okay. So anyway,
2%. You were saying it was 2%.
So I was like, what's up with 2%? He was like, I got like, it's a long script. It's not really cleaned up yet. And I was like, yo, clean up the script. It's brilliant. And if you get that draft right, I'll produce it. I'll help you produce this movie. I never produced a movie before. I know what that meant, but I think it kind of put a battery in his back. He went back and got into the script. He started working on it, started getting it together. We had like table reads. We workshopped it. He obviously found a new title, which ultimately it was the name of Sam White's radio show. He's like, why don't I call it Dear White People? I was like, yeah. And then, we went through like a lot of stuff. It was not an easy path, but eventually, a white woman was like, I'm gonna give y'all the money to make this movie. So that was important. Big up to Julie. So she was like, I got you. And she gave us money. It was definitely not enough money, but he made it this amazing, wonderful film, which helped launch Tessa Thompson's career. Love Tessa. Shout out to Tessa Thompson. Okay. Yeah. Nobody really checking for. All right. That movie, everybody's like, oh, she's dope. Duh. Now she on everybody's list. Shit. But anyway, my thing to him was, I was like, you're dope. This is amazing. I'm going to be your Flavor Flav. Because sometimes you need to do that for somebody.
Come on.
I'll be Flavor Flav. Let's go. And I think we would definitely be better served if sometimes we didn't always feel like we had to be the star. And I get it. Black folks, we were stars. We raised to be individuals. But I think every now and then, I'm not afraid to do this and let that person shine with their thing. And then every now and then, it's like, like with Queen and Slim, I am going to be out front, but also I love with Queen and Slim. It was Melina here, Daniel Kaluuya here, Jodie Turner-Smith here, India Moore here, and it was really more about the collective. It was about the tribe, and I can segue into that. Like I see and hear people watching the movie and hit me up or whatever about it. At the end of the day, I've always said that art and life has always held hands.
Yes,
it's always held hands. It's supposed to. I am a person that's never gonna lie to you, Jack. I'm not gonna pull no punches. I'm not gonna make things seem nice, And my thing was, I remember with the controversy about the ending and all those things. It's like, I understand. But for me, it's also like, you can't be mad at the ending of Queen and Slim and not look at Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Do the Right Thing. This has been a trend among Black filmmakers where we're not trying to show Black death to exploit it. We're trying to show Black death to expose it. And say, and whose hands we are often eyeing. They often are wearing with very little care for our life and our livelihood.
I want to, Lena, I want to save Queen and Slim because I have a personal anecdote about the ending and the Black man who set him up. That's a whole nother thing. We're going to hold that. But I want to congratulate you because in the midst of Dear White People, obviously you had a deal for 20s at BET. Which obviously didn't, we're now seeing it, but you did this back in 2014, correct? Yeah,
started there and then went to Hulu, then TBS, then back to BET again.
YouTube is a motherfucker, ain't it?
No, yeah, yes, exactly. Well, no, yeah, because I did a pilot presentation for 20s that we put on YouTube that Justin Simeon directed. And that actually, funny enough, a lot of people don't know this, that's really what launched my career. Even though, yes, I am not in the 20s pilot presentation. And the OGs, no. It includes Courtney Sauce, Ashley Featherson, and Nia Jervier. I'm not in it, but I want to show people what 20s could be because they couldn't see it. And then I got a call while I was filming, we were working on Dear White People. I get a call from my then manager and was like, this casting director wants to meet with you. And I was like, I don't know why, I'm not casting anything and I'm not trying to like be in anything. And he was like, look, well, you should meet with her. And he said her name, Allison Jones, which didn't ring a bell to me because I don't know the name. That's not my ministry. So he was like, well, no, she's pretty like well known. Like she cast Freaks and Geeks, Bridesmaids, like she's done all this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I went and sat with her, and for some reason she saw the pilot presentation because it had garnered a lot of attention. And she was like, I know I saw the three young ladies in the front of it, but I wanted to know who was behind it.
Right.
And meet with me. And when I walk into her office, it's like looked like a freaking Hall of Fame. It's like, I mean, literally, like, I mean, she cast Fresh Bel Air, she cast Geek, all these amazing things. And she asked me, she said, do you have any desire to act? And I ain't gonna lie, I said, I do not. Like that's not my lane. I'm a writer. She said, well, let me bring you in for some stuff here and there. And I was like, okay. And so she did for a couple of things here and there. But we just had a really lovely conversation. I was very much myself. I was very much my authentic self. And then when Aziz Ansari was casting for his show, she was casting it, and did a very old school thing that a lot of filmmakers used to do back in the day, where it's not the typical casting process where you just come in and read lines, but they want to have a conversation with the person first, and then if they like you, based on that conversation they dig you,
right.
And so Aziz said to her, I want to just meet interesting people. And he said, who are some interesting people you've met? And by the grace of God, she said, Lena Waithe.
That's dope.
And I went to his house. Obviously, I read with him, and the rest is history. But because I was in Master of None, that's what Steven Spielberg's casting director, who are lovely and amazing, were like, who's that girl? Her for this movie. And that's what got me Ready Player One. And from there on, people have, like Westworld and opportunities have come from that. And then obviously I wound up on the Dear White People series, and because Justin was like, come on, bitch, you famous, let's do it. But
I want to say this because people don't know this, Lena.
Go ahead.
You not only were casted for that, but it was originally for a white woman. And you pretty much convinced them that it could be a gay black woman.
Well, that's the thing. Like they had very loose like ideas of the characters. They were still trying to
figure it out.
And what initially Denise was supposed to be a love interest for Aziz, I think, like a girl who was his friend that he ultimately would have fallen in love with. But it's like that all over TV, and like he saw me and he was like, well, I like her, like she's cool, and I show up as myself every day, like and he was like, this is interesting, and he told me, he said, look, we're gonna rewrite all 10 episodes, and we want you to help us find this character and develop her, and I want her to be a lesbian. I want her to walk like you, look like you, talk like you. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, but we didn't even think about the fact that a black masculine presenting lesbian had never really been on TV. And then when it came out, like we just, because also in a Netflix show, you don't have an audience there. We're filming in New York. We don't really know what we have. And then people were like, oh, this is cool. This is amazing. And I remember running into Donald Glover at the Creed premiere. And all bearded up, and I had met him, but Master of None had come out at that point. So he walked up to me. He's like, this is weird. Like, I don't know you, but I know who you are. And I was like, I know who you are. And we shook hands, and he said, yeah, man, I'm a fan. I like Master of None. I was like, oh, thank you so much. He's like, yeah, I'm working on something right now, trying to do something with a similar tone, but black in Atlanta. I was like, okay, all right, cool.
ATL, shout it.
That too, Atlanta, changing the entire game. So it's been a beautiful journey, and just, getting to meet these other black artists and talk to them and find ways to just have real conversations. And I really do feel like this is, the new Renaissance. We really are living in that time. We're also living in a Renaissance. We're living in a revolution, and we have our forefathers and foremothers to look at and see how they did things. And I do. You see those old pictures of like Lorraine Hansberry, Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Lena Horne, James Baldwin, sitting there talking to politicians and doing the things that they did. And I do hope, and I'm happy I saw it because I'm on live with you. So if I get off, I'm gonna hit Kendrick, light-skinned Kendrick said not Kendrick Lamar, but our revolutionary, young Malcolm X out here. He DM'd me, so I'm gonna hit him because I think he was hitting me like after my number, and I'm like, yes, I need your number. I want to talk to you. So tell Kendrick, y'all, Lena's gonna hit him as soon as me and Kitty wrap up, because I want to connect with him, probably because I was gonna hit him anyway and be like, yo, you are here on the front lines. Who do you know? Who do I need to hit? How can we help each other? What's up? And I really want that unity, that communication, because here's the thing: if all are talking different circles and not talking to each other, I'm telling you, the oppressor is gonna be like this. We don't want the oppressor to go Birdman. We got to talk. We gotta link arms with each other. And also, I look at it like, let's treat this shit like a writer's room. That's what I know, right? or actor improv. When you do improv with an actor, you got to say yes and. Yes and. So it's like, even if a person is talking and they saying something that may not be what you would say, just say yes. What you're saying is valid. What you're saying is important. And let me add to that. And how can we
Yes.
done? And also in the television writers room, it's a rule. You don't start talking until somebody is finished pitching. So we got to let people get their pitch out and not say shit and listen and go, oh, that's cool. And then it's turn to talk and go, okay, now here's my idea. And I think that we can all have different ideas. Let's just maybe take turns on when we get them done. Because about defunding the police, I know over there is about making sure that the queer Black community aren't excluded from the entire, movement. Because people have causes like trans Black Lives Matter as well, non-binary Black Lives Matter, lesbian Black Lives Matter, intersex Black Lives Matter, asexual Black Lives Matter. We are part of the community as well, because as a Black queer person, I don't only want to see cis Black men talking at the podium. You know what I'm saying? And when I say I know it sounds like, oh, just defund the place. No, but they're also saying about moving money around in the budget. Right. So large lion's share of the money doesn't just go to the police department. Technically, if we really put our heads together, there's a way that we don't necessarily have to be policed so much. My big thing is, this is my idea. I don't think police should have guns. I don't think they should have batons. When you go to London, if anybody here in the council has been to London, those cops ain't got no kind of weapons. You don't feel no kind of like, and even though technically, unfortunately, George Floyd was not killed with a gun, he was killed with somebody's knee. And so I think that's why it's like, we also have to be careful about these illegal chokeholds, these aggressive force. We got to make sure we get that out of there. But I would love to take the guns out of police officers' hands. It's like, come at me now. You feel so powerful now? Take a gun away. Let's go ahead. Chicago.
Yeah, no, I want to congratulate you too, because we got off of the Master of None without me congratulating you on being the first Black woman to win an Emmy for a comedy series. So congratulations on that. You are a fucking legend. But I want to get into Queen of Slim, because I want to end it talking about, what you were just talking about and have been talking about the entire show. Queen of Slim, kudos, Lena. Like, that movie, not only did it start with the dating because they met on Tinder, which was fucking hilarious, by the way. You get into this, awkward date, right? Like, how many people have been on an awkward date? Then you're driving and, the awkward conversation turns kind of into like, maybe I could, and then you get stopped by the police. And then your life changes. I'm talking about off top, shoot police, we out. And, I want to commend you for the storytelling, because I feel like those temperaments are right now. If you look at the protests, if you look at how people, the protests, the rioting, the beatings that, continuously happen over and over and over and over again, it's a matter of time before people strike back. Now, I want to end it before I ask you the question. The end of the movie was ironic, because as we have Asian provocateurs in our mix and having other agendas, while some are trying to peacefully protest, while some are looting. My thing is, in the end of the movie, one of our own set us up. And I think that's one of the strongest messages of the movie, because we got a lot of work to do with ourselves. Yes. And I think that right now, because there's so many allies arm in arm with us. I mean, there are people speaking out that you would have never heard. Corporations speaking out that would have never.
Fuck the corporations that do Black employees dirty, but then come out and say they stand with Black Lives Matter. So let's just say that a lot of them are being called out, and I was calling out one of them that fired one of my friends on some bullshit, and they're gonna put out a statement talking about we stand with y'all. Fuck that. I also love that, Sean Robinson came from Billy Bush, somebody came from a girl from Glee. Like, let's not let these people post things. No. Oh yeah. We like. Go ahead.
Yeah, hold them all accountable. But I wanted to end it by saying, right now is the time more than ever, right, to see through everything we get so riled up every couple of years, right? This is the time to see through, not just locally, federally, and statewide and federally with these elections, but after we fix this problem and issue after, you know, the economy comes back, after these elected officials are in office, to stay in play. We are not staying in, we're not activists, we're not politicians, but we're human beings that have rights, and you have to fight for those rights, not just on election day. You know, it could be as, you know, easy as your local school board or your local DA, or you know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about that, and how important do you think now is?
Oh, now is the most important, you know, and I think now we got to look within also too. I do want to be clear, you know, and this, I know we got like about 12 minutes left, but I will say this. The thing about, initially that character was white. Initially that character was white. And that was
character?
The character that basically turns them in. You
know?
Okay. And
wow, I didn't know that. Dope.
Simplistic of me to do that. And I got a note from a brilliant artist, Bradford Young, who's a wonderful DP. He read the script and he was like, what if this guy was black? And I was like, what? No, I was all like, And then more I thought about it, that I was like, no, you're right. Because it was me not wanting to address some of our stuff. But the minute I went and changed it, because I really did have to go, I was like, I gotta put this, you take a character from white to black, that's a whole different situation. So I have to like really go sit with myself, meditate, pray on it, and get there. And I eventually did. And I found this man who, I think a lot of people look at that character and go like, oh man, oh, I hate him. But the truth is, he is a product of the system. Because one, this system has taught us to not really, the system has taught us to hate each other.
Come on, Lena, get in the pulpit.
To put money, to put commerce before community. They told us to put commerce before each other. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they sometimes would have the black person in the fields watching out over the slave. You know what I'm saying? Talk about the psychological fuck up to shit for that. So this has been ingrained in us to not come together, because when we come together, we what? Powerful. So for him, but then also too, it's like, let's look at, we're very particular and showing you where he lived. He lived in a trailer. He had little noodles. He was like, and so he was just trying to eat. So to him, Queen and Slim don't look like revolutionaries. They look like a meal.
Wow.
Like life-saving. They look like a life jacket to him.
Wow.
They look like the promised land.
Wow.
He said, if I give y'all over to them, I get the American dream. Which is what?
Money.
Because that's really what they teach us. Because also, money is power. I mean, that's also too. It's like something like, why do we worship money? It's like, well, what does money also equate? A form of freedom. So what black folks been chasing since we got here?
Come on.
Freedom.
Come on.
That's all. Even I love what Oprah Winfrey said. She was like, can money make you? Yes. Money can definitely do things that can help make you happy. And money can also become addictive. When you go to some of your favorite rappers like Instagram page, what they, you know, stacks, bow, boom, power, freedom. And of course, it's all bullshit at the end of the day, because half the time we don't know how to maintain it. I always tell people, it's like, you know what's harder than getting rich? Staying that way.
Yeah.
And the shit that we sometimes have to do and sacrifice in order to stay that way eats a little bit of us every single day.
Yeah.
So for those that are struggling, have a different internal thing. And then those that aren't struggling have another internal battle. Because sometimes like as you want to be when you're trying to maintain your what? Freedom.
Wow.
On here and give you all these motherfuckers' names. But then it's like, if I take away my freedom, then I'm doing what? Taking away from other opportunities I can give other motherfuckers. It's my job to amplify black voices. You look at my slate, queer, black, Middle Eastern, Asian, it runs the gamut. If I want to then go like, I'm going to be a rebel and go rogue and fuck this corporation, fuck that corporation, I'm taking freedom away from them.
Wow.
So it's ongoing like battle.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like, I literally feel like I'm in House of Cards every single day. Every single day. That show is like, yeah, that's what it is. And a lot of times it's frustrating because sometimes like people who aren't in this industry and in the business, you know, well, they don't know how it works. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, why don't y'all do this? Or why don't you fire that? It's like, that's why I was super like, when I was going through the shy shit, I was like, let me tell you something. I didn't even have no power on the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I finally, this season 3 that's coming up, and I hope y'all tune in. You know, it's tough. We don't have Jason, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, I finally got power on that show in season 3. Finally.
And we're gonna see you in it more too, right?
I'm gonna be in it. I stepped up. I got in there a little bit. It's not crazy, but you know.
I want to say this too. I forgot to say this. Big shout to everybody who brought theaters out for Queen and Slim. Big shout to, because I know in Atlanta here, it was heavy. I mean, we were buying tickets in theaters. Big shout to Fashion Geek Zoe, who you've had in the Shy. He brought out 2 theaters in Chicago. People really got behind that. And I want to, I just want to say, man, like, you are galvanizing and mobilizing people, Lena. Like the way that you're writing, and I want to, I want to end this by giving you another bundle of flowers. But this is the last question. You're mobilizing, and I hope you see that, and I hope that you notice how your writing is affecting people to act. So that's a really powerful skill set. And how do you feel about that, and what's coming from Lena Waithe next?
I feel like it's really important, the work, but at the same time, I have to be free in it. I need the space to stumble. I need the space to be experimental. I need the space to do things that don't feel easy. I think to me, it's like I ask my audience and people out there that fuck with me and rock with me to be willing to be uncomfortable when you're watching something I've written. I may not always give you ointment, because sometimes the ointment may make the pain last longer, because we're not acknowledging what the scars are and where they came from. And I think there's a big thing is being a Black artist, there's a lot of pressure, because you want it to be good, but there's also this new thing where you also don't want people to drag you or this and that. And I think at the end of the day, there's nothing more powerful than a free Black artist. And I think a lot of us sometimes, because there's so many eyeballs, and because there's a lot of people with opinions and people can say things, it's like we are starting to edit ourselves. We are starting to edit ourselves because folks don't want to get dragged. And I'd rather be canceled than make safe art. So
come on, Lena. Shit.
I'd rather art that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you squirm, that makes you think, that makes you cry, than give you something that you will forget before you even walk out the movie theater. So my big thing was for people that like were pissed or mad or whatever, I'm like, I saw people like, to me, there's no greater compliment than somebody writing a whole post about how they mad about the ending of your movie. Because I'm like, when was the last time you sat about anything that you saw?
Lena, people's personal opinions are personal. It's not, you know what I'm saying? They're not speaking for people, and I'm speaking for people because I know for a fact, from the soundtrack to the fucking skin we were in and the way that it was shot and lit, like you have something. Yes, she murdered that. But before we get out of here, and my last bundle of flowers I want to offer you, Pastor Waithe, is you have a real voice now. You have proved yourself as an artist and proven your formula in your creative. And I just want you to stay unapologetic. All the things you just said. I mean, to be in your mid-30s and to have broken the ceiling, literally sky's the limit. You can really, go off into the sunset doing you. And that's not easy for creatives. So I speak onto you the power of forgiveness. I speak onto you the power of love, ultimately understanding that is the ultimate goal for us all. And I just wish you the best. So, baby, go on and get what you came for. I'm talking about, because you got it.
I appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for lifting us up, holding us up, shedding light on us. Every time I see you in the street, it's always love. It's always genuine. And I will say this, and I'm going to give you this flowers before we cut. We lost a real giant with Andre. And I really think that when I think of you, I think he probably didn't know this, but you are now carrying that torch for us. You're the person that when we see you in the street, you big us up. You remind us to keep living this beautiful Black American dream. And you remind us to just keep the battery in our back and forget all the negativity. So just know that we appreciate that. We love you. I appreciate you. And this has just been a beautiful thing, just having this conversation.
You're gonna make a real thug light-skinned nigga cry.
Hey! brother. It's real, man. We
Yeah,
appreciate
I
it. And we need,
appreciate you too. Thank
you know,
you.
we need you right now more than ever. So thank you for this platform. You know, like I said, I hadn't really, you know, a lot of people sort of wanted me to pipe up, but I really always feel comfortable talking to you. And I actually have an action item for people. Please go to my comments, help whoever you can, shake some hands, shake some virtual hands, meet these people, see who is in need. But just remember, these are the people that are out here fighting for your right to be Black and to be alive. And as soon as I get off this, I'm gonna hit Kendrick. I'm gonna talk to him and see how I can be helpful. And also just know that we're building a Hillman Grad mentorship program. We want to build up something really big. We don't want to charge people. We want them to get the education they need, the opportunity they need, the access they need. So the Hillman Grad mentorship program is being built right now as we speak. So that way we're gonna have about maybe 8 to 12 fellows a year. So that way we can really populate this industry with people that often are invisible, go unheard, but got stories to tell. And I know folks out there got a story to tell. We just want to teach you the best way on how to tell it, so that way you're heard and you're seen, and you get to help make this industry a lot better, leave it in better shape than when we found it.
That's awesome. I love you, Lena. You be good. Take care of yourself. I'm here if you need me.
Appreciate you, brother. Peace.
Okay. Peace.
Later.
Absolutely. That's a real live superhero, y'all. Make sure y'all support her with the Hillman Grad movement. I'm going to donate as soon as I post this live. And if you know somebody that missed it, tell them how inspiring Lena is and come watch it. All right. I love y'all. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, Lena, if you're still listening, tomorrow's dedicated to you. I have another playlist. Get ready. Because the 80 Babies was popping in the early 2000s. You feel me? All right, y'all. Peace.